Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the President of the American Geophysical Union, Dr. Michael J. McFadden.
Good evening, and welcome to the annual AGU Honors Ceremony. This is an event we have all been looking forward to with great anticipation. Tonight we recognize AGU members whose profound contributions and breakthrough achievements have guided and inspired us. We honor their commitment to excellence and dedication to the scientific enterprise. This ceremony is about working together to advance and communicate the power of science for the benefit of all humanity. Tonight we celebrate the spirit of exploration and discovery that enables scientific progress. I would like to welcome the many friends, colleagues, and family members who have come to share in this celebration. I also want to welcome AGU President-elect Carol Flinn and Executive Director and CEO Christine McEntee, who will join me in making the presentations. Also, Tony Louis, Chair of the Union Fellows Committee, who will assist us tonight on stage. Carol, Chris, and Tony, welcome and thank you. And before we begin, I would like to take a moment to recognize the many AGU members who volunteered to serve on the Awards, Fellows, Prize, and Medals committees. These individuals put in long hours evaluating the nominees and selecting those we honor tonight. Let's give them a big round of applause. Now, if you will direct your attention to the screens, we will begin with the awards program.
Advocates, educators, public service. The American Geophysical Union is dedicated to promoting discovery in earth and space science for the benefit of humanity. Scientists working together advance and communicate science and its power to ensure a sustainable future. AGU recognizes meritorious research, leadership, and service that advance geophysical sciences and the world's understanding of their relevance to everyday life.
When I think about dedication, I think about the fact that any of us who are privileged to live on this planet only have so many days and hours and years that we're able to commit to anything. These awardees have chosen to take a very significant part of that limited time we have here on this planet to advance research, to make sure that the public understands what's occurring in the environment around them and how science can help them solve those challenges, or to make sure that the next generation of scientists has the skills and expertise that are needed to really address societal issues and make this a better place for all of us to live. All you have to do is read about these scientists and the others that are being honored through these awards, and you will see their commitment. They've spent time and effort and had passion to be able to either communicate effectively to a scientific audience or to the world around them for the benefit of scientific discovery and what it can bring to this world.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome AGU Executive Director and CEO, Ms. Christine McEntee.
Good evening. It's so wonderful to be here and to see so many of you in the audience tonight to honor these distinguished scientists, educators, and communicators. The American Geophysical Union provides a dynamic forum for more than 60,000 Earth, space, oceanic, atmospheric, hydrologic, and planetary scientists from 148 countries around the world. As Executive Director and CEO of this prestigious organization, I am delighted and honored at the opportunity to be with you this evening. The individuals we recognize, both those active in scientific research and others who contribute from non-scientific fields, represent decades of hard work and dedication. Through their relentless pursuit of the questions that fascinated them and their willingness to help their peers as well as their students, they affirm the highest ideals of science. AGU is presenting honors this evening in 4 categories: awards, fellows, prizes, and medals. The first group, awards, which I will present, recognizes individuals who have demonstrated excellence in scientific research and education. We will be highlighting the reason that these honorees were chosen to receive these awards. I also strongly encourage you to take a moment to read the full citations in your printed program. Joining me on stage now to begin our awards ceremonies is the chair of the Union Fellows Committee, Tony Louis. Thank you. We are so glad to have you here to join in this celebration. As science becomes increasingly complex, the role of the science writer becomes even more crucial. In effect, they become the educators who help their readers appreciate the world in which they live. They are tasked with bringing science down to earth and explaining it in a way that is both understandable and accurate. On the afternoon of August 23, 2011, when a rare earthquake rumbled through the mid-Atlantic region, many people, confused over what was exactly happening, spilled out into the streets instead of ducking under their desk. At the Washington Post, staff writers Stephen Mufson and Brian Vastag were among those who recognized a quake and decided to stay put. Facing a tight deadline, they reached out to an array of experts and focused their stories not so much on the what of the event as on the why and the how. At the same time, the Post graphic staff produced an accompanying news graphic that made the story of local earthquakes available at a glance and also provided detail about the strength, location, and timing of previous tremblers for those who wanted to learn more. Capitalizing on a moment of intense interest created by an unusual event, these writers and graphic artists crafted a clear and compelling account of geology, plate tectonics, the history of local seismic activity, and making the science accessible to the ordinary reader without sacrificing accuracy or sophistication. Ladies and gentlemen, the David Perlman Award for Excellence in Science Journalism News is awarded to Stephen Mufson, Brian Vastag, and the Washington Post graphic staff. Accepting the award on their behalf is Brian Vastag.
It's a great honor to accept this year's AGU David Perlman Award for deadline reporting in the earth sciences on behalf of myself, Post reporter Steve Mufson, and our entire graphics team headed by Bonnie Berkowitz. After our fifth floor newsroom shook around 2 p.m., the earthquake immediately became the story of the moment. And the editors, reporters, and designers and graphic artists all had to pull together like a superorganism to put out the best stories we could. California reporters know much better than I that the twitches of the planet respect no deadline. However, we were fortunate we had about 5 hours to pull together a story of what had just happened. Because the quake we were fortunate the quake caused very few, almost no casualties. And so the rare event presented an opportunity to provide our readers a dose of geology and seismology with their morning newspaper. The scientists who picked up the phone that afternoon and explained the quake in clear terms are the prime reason we were able to convey with some nuance why our readers had felt the earth move. The list of former Perlman winners reads much like a list of my favorite science reporters. And of course, the award's namesake, the longtime San Francisco Chronicle science reporter David Perlman, has long been high atop my list of legends in the field. And so with a nod to David Perlman and past winners, I gratefully accept this award on behalf of my co-winners. Thank you.
Congratulations, Brian. You don't want to forget your award. It's fine. Our next honoree has also written about a devastating earthquake from the standpoint of scientific responsibility. In 2009, an earthquake that struck the Italian city of L'Aquila killed more than 300 people and led to a group of government scientists being put on trial for manslaughter. Was this a case of baseless attempt to hold scientists accountable for failing to predict an impending earthquake? Or was the issue one of risk evaluation and communication? How did local fear and tension play into that story? And what does this case portend for scientists who will possess critical information about future extreme events and natural disasters such as hurricanes, floods, droughts, and climate change that can inform the public and protect public safety? For thorough reporting and compelling narrative writing in his feature story At Fault, which was published in the journal Nature, we present the Walter Sullivan Award for Excellence in Science Journalism features to Stephen S. Hall. Stephen?
I wish to thank the American Geophysical Union for the great honor of receiving the 2012 Walter Sullivan Award. Although it is a difficult and bittersweet task to accept recognition for work related to an event that has brought so much devastation and heartbreak to so many people. This story would not have been possible without the cooperation and help of a number of stakeholders, if you will, in the tragedy. The townspeople of L'Aquila, including many who suffered terribly from the earthquake and its aftermath, the scientists and their lawyers who consented to describe their experience of the episode, and the many geophysicists inside and outside Italy who provided background, context, and interpretation of both the seismic event and its social and political aftershocks. Finally, I extend heartfelt thanks to my colleagues at Nature, especially features editor Helen Pearson and Tim Appenzeller, for their editorial wisdom and courage in supporting this project from beginning to end. Thank you very much for this great honor.
Congratulations, Stephen. Our next award goes to a scientist who has made significant and sustained contributions to geoscience education throughout her career, and fittingly enough, in 1994, co-organized the very first education session held at an AGU meeting. This scientist pioneered the view, which is now accepted wisdom, that effective geoscience education must entail authentic inquiry driven by the manipulation and analysis of data. She has developed undergraduate case studies of natural catastrophes, was a key contributor to initiating the IRIS Education and Outreach Program and developing its program plan, and as chair of the EarthScope Education and Outreach Steering Committee, led the development of the EarthScope Education and Outreach Plan. Her skills at critical analysis have helped to foster major collaborations that have increased the national prominence of the geoscientist, and she has been a mentor and role model to students at all levels. For advancing geoscience education across its full spectrum, and for her pioneering work in integrating research and education, we present the Excellence in Geophysical Education Award to Michelle Kathleen Hall.
We are bombarded with daily news that our youth are not interested and not prepared to pursue science and technology degrees at the college level. You may feel that there isn't a lot that you can do about this situation. However, half of all the students who enter college pursuing a science or engineering degree drop out of it by the end of their second year. The reasons vary. Some are unprepared. Some are disillusioned by classes that seem to have no relevance to what they thought was an exciting field. Others have felt that they did not fit the mold, some predetermined mold. This is a tremendous loss of time and talent, and the reasons can easily be addressed if there's a will among us. For years, I've asked my friends and colleagues when and why they first identified themselves as a scientist. In all cases, they pointed to key individuals who recognized the talent in them and that nurtured it. And I imagine that on occasion we've all been underprepared for challenges in our careers. We have struggled with doubts when we were diving into unknown, new territory in our research, and we've wondered if we fit the mold for success. And while we had to reach deep inside and push onward, there was a helping hand or an encouraging word that often pulled us through. So I want to take this time to urge you to look at each of your students and find that kernel of talent and nurture it and help them find their own pathway to success in science, even though it may differ quite significantly from your own. It can still be quite meaningful and valuable for them. I am very grateful to the AGU and this community for this award and this honor. I am also grateful to the many wonderful teachers, mentors, and students that I've had the pleasure and blessing of working with over the many years. Without their help and encouragement to me, this award would not have been possible. Thank you.
Congratulations, Michelle. Our next distinguished honoree from the School of Earth and Space Sciences at Peking University reflects AGU's commitment to unselfish collaboration and an international perspective. He is a scientist who has dedicated himself throughout his career to illuminating fundamental processes in the magnetized plasmas of the terrestrial magnetosphere, and his work has been key to our understanding of the impact of solar wind. Concurrent with his research, he has mentored and inspired more than a generation of young Chinese scientists, steering many of the best and brightest to the U.S. and Europe for graduate studies and helping them to succeed brilliantly while learning to fit into unfamiliar cultures. He has also served with distinction as the Asia-Pacific editor of JGR Space Physics. For insightful contributions to fundamental studies of processes in magnetized plasmas, his unwavering support of scientific communication across borders, and his exceptional commitment to advancing the careers of young scientists, we present the International Award to Zuyin Pu.
Many thanks to AGU Award Committee and Margaret Kivison and my peers in space physics for selecting and recommending me as the 2012 AGU International Awardee. I regard this award as an honor largely given to the magnetospheric physics and the magnetic reconnection group at the Peking University, Beijing, China, for our collective achievement made through close collaboration. Here, I'm very happy to share this great honor with my colleagues and students at Peking University. Many thanks to the Chinese Double Star and the ESA cluster and the NASA FEMEX missions for providing us with high-quality data to study the multiple-scale complex magnetospheric processes in space. Many thanks also to Margaret Kivison Philip Escobar, Vasilis Angelopoulos, Tony Newey, and all my friends across the world who have collaborated with us and helped to promote space and earth sciences in China. Finally, I must share this honor with my wife, Liu Ping. Without her support and understanding, I would not have been able to give my full concentration to space physics research. Development of Earth and science and space science need international collaborations. I hope we will continue to enjoy a warm and harmonious environment in the future to further strengthen the fruitful collaborations between the international community and the Chinese scientists. Thank you. Thank all of you.
Congratulations, Zuyin. The American Geophysical Union isn't only about scientific research. It is also about scientists effectively communicating that research to the broader public. Our next honoree is an oceanographer and holder of the Jerome M. Paris Endowed Chair in Sensor Networks at the University of Washington, where he examines volcanic processes on land and in the oceans, their geological record, their oceanographic impact, and their implications for life on Earth and other planets. A highly sought-after speaker who gives more than 50 invited talks a year at professional meetings, universities, and public gatherings, he communicates science with an infectious enthusiasm. In 2005, intrigued by the possibility of viewers watching scientists make discoveries in real time, his group was the first to stream high-definition video live from the sea floor, while more than 1 million people around the world watched with fascination on the web. Through such powerful and innovative outreach activities, he has fostered collaboration mechanisms that have transformed the study of mid-ocean ridges and have led to new capabilities for ocean observations, capabilities that have become a key element in our national ocean observing system. Ladies and gentlemen, for contributing to our understanding of and excitement about the complex interdependent processes that link Earth's volcanic activity to a wide array of oceanic phenomena, we present the Athelstan Spilhaus Award to John R. Delaney.
It's both humbling and exhilarating to be honored as this year's recipient of the Spilhaus Award. Humbling because Athelstan Spilhaus himself set the standard as a highly productive scientific innovator, and he had a gift for making science not just accessible to, but richly engaging for the public at large. It's exhilarating because we are all now poised on the threshold of having virtually unlimited mechanisms and drivers for achieving a form of universal scientific engagement of the public. As rapidly evolving technologies, global societal problems, shifting international attitudes, and novel social media converge, they are empowering scientists to transparently operate on a much more global stage. And the boundaries between research and education become much, much less sharp as they both become integral components in the cultural continuum that embraces the arts, the environment, the economy, ethics, energy, health, and even entertainment. It is against the backdrop of this complex tapestry that we scientists must successfully weave our many stories of struggle and success in a form that can be ever more captivating to the public in general. In the field of ocean and earth sciences, we need to increasingly direct people's attention to the fact that the global ocean is nothing less than the ultimate life support system for our entire planet. Yet few of our fellow citizens realize the immense influence and the profound impacts that the ocean has on most facets of our daily lives here on the continents. Understanding how the global life support system, the ocean, actually functions and operates is one of the grand challenges facing citizens of all nations. And we scientists must become much more comfortable operating in this entire theater of the round. I'm deeply grateful to my colleagues, my friends, and my family, my wife Holly and Ryan, for the consistent and generous support that I've received over the decades of trying to push the envelope on what seemed like the next steps. I'm especially grateful for those who nominated me and those who provided supportive letters leading to this award that surely belongs to many of us. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, John. Our next honoree, Professor of Civil Engineering at Tennessee Technological University, is being recognized for his efforts to promote a remote sensing-based flood warning system for vulnerable parts of developing nations where data are scarce and institutional capacity limited. Since 2007, he has been instrumental in establishing memoranda of understanding for technical collaboration with environmental management and operational agencies in developing nations. His work has been the critical element in drawing attention to the value of space-borne earth science data in operational settings, demonstrating that if prediction uncertainty could be characterized accurately, then the benefits of information derived from Earth observations could outweigh the costs. Ladies and gentlemen, for his research efforts to develop current and upcoming water-related Earth observation missions and to complement them on a common data platform for managing water resource issues of developing nations around the world, we present the Charles S. Falkenberg Award to Faisal Hossain.
Thank you. I'm utterly thrilled and humbled by this award. This is by far the highest accolade I have ever received in my lifetime for something that's become a mission for me. I thank the AGU, the Earth Science Information Partnership, and the Falkenberg Award Review Committee for giving me such a never-ending source of inspiration to keep working with our community. Thanks also goes to my colleagues who nominated me, namely Manos Anagnustu, C.K. Shum, Marco Borga, Mahbub Rahman. If you're here, thanks a lot for giving me the support. It had never dawned on me that giving longevity to practical applications of earth science data and the findings that we generate through research could ever be even difficult. If it's obvious to the scientific community that the research has societal applications and importance and therefore merits publication, then why should not the beneficiaries and the stakeholders and the general public feel the same? So in working closely with grassroots agencies, particularly those from developing nations, I realized that in order to grasp what the public users really need from earth science data, we need a trial and error education process to understand the needs better. The skepticism that many in the real world harbor towards many types of emerging earth science data, especially those from remote sensing platforms, they need to be addressed through education that solicits very candid feedback from the users and channels them back via our scientific community. So this award is also a celebration for all my friends, students, colleagues that I've ever known and had the privilege of working with. There are just way too many to list them here, but every one of them that I'd had the privilege of working with are gratefully acknowledged. Once again, I thank AGU, ESIP, and my colleagues who nominated me for this award. Thank you all.
Congratulations, Faisal. Our final award presentation this evening, the Edward A. Flinn III Award, recognizes a distinguished scientist for his unselfish cooperation in research and his long career of facilitating, coordinating, and implementing activities for the benefit of the mineral physics community. As a professor of geophysics at Stony Brook University and co-director of the Center for High Pressure Research, our recipient helped introduce to the United States the large volume high-pressure technology developed in Japan and helped to train an entire generation of researchers now using this technology. As president of the Consortium for Materials Properties Research in Earth Sciences, COMPRESS, of the National Science Foundation, he oversaw a roughly threefold increase in the size of the organization between 2003 and 2010. Finally, as a strong and effective advocate for mineral physics, he made community-based resource available that would not have otherwise existed and organized educational outreach to open up new research opportunities to the broadest possible audience. For facilitating international collaborations, enabling the development of new community facilities for mineral physics research, and implementing activities to support and promote the entire mineral physics community as president of COMPRESS, we present the Edward A. Flinn III Award to Robert Cooper Liebermann.
Thank you, Christine. I thank the AGU for this high honor, and I'm grateful to Jay Bass and Thomas Duffy for nominating me and to all those who wrote supporting letters. I'm especially proud to receive the Edward A. Flinn Award because I knew Ted Flinn. In the 1960s, we were both working to develop seismic techniques to discriminate between underground nuclear explosions and natural earthquakes. And he once tried to teach me to play poker in the home of Nancy and Don Anderson. I'm also pleased to join the ranks of the previous AGU Flinn awardees, many of whom I have known and admired for years, including William Best of the Air Force Office of Scientific Research, who funded my seismology research on nuclear detection when I was a graduate student at Columbia University. Daniel Weil of the NSF, whom I nominated for the Flinn Award, and who was a generous and proactive supporter of funding for high-pressure mineral physics research, including both Chipper and Compress. And Judy Holoviak of the AGU, whom I've known since the days at Lamont Geological Observatory when Orson Anderson was editor of JGR, and with whom I also worked when I was senior editor of JGR. I learned the value of public service from my parents, Harold and Catherine Cooper Liebermann, and from the Boy Scouts of America. I've also profited from mentors who set an example of professional service, including Orson Anderson at Columbia University, Don Anderson at Caltech, Anton Hales at the Australian National University, and Charles Pruitt at Stony Brook University. And finally, I gratefully acknowledge the ongoing support and love of my wife, Barbara, my high school sweetheart and bride of 48 years. We are both very pleased that our 3 children and their partners are here with us tonight. Thank you.
Congratulations, Robert, and please, let's congratulate all of our awardees and give them another round of applause. Now it is my pleasure to turn the honors presentations over to our next hosts, who will recognize our class of AGU Fellows for 2012. Please watch the screen.
Pioneers, mentors, explorers. AGU Fellows are the pacesetters in a vibrant and dynamic global community of scientists. The Fellows program recognizes AGU members for achieving major paradigm shifts, breakthrough discoveries, and sustained impact that influence research and exploration. They are selected by their peers and honored for expanding the path to new scientific horizons. This prestigious honor is awarded to 0.1% of the AGU membership.
Dedication involves sacrifice, patience, and devotion. AGU Fellowship recognizes this dedication to science. The dedication of AGU Fellows to produce excellent science improves the world at large. Dedication also involves giving back and providing service. All of our fellows embody a lifelong commitment to researching the way our world works and making it a better place through scientific innovation and discovery.
Ladies and gentlemen, to introduce the 2012 class of AGU Fellows, please welcome President-elect Carol Finn.
Good evening. And yes, I'm very honored and proud to be here to welcome the new class of Fellows. Every year since 1962, the American Geophysical Union has recognized a select group of men and women who are at the very top of their game in the earth and space sciences. We confer this special designation in tribute to their exceptional knowledge, visional leadership, and foundational contributions to their fields of research. 61 AGU members, elected by a committee of AGU Fellows, have been named to our Fellows class of 2012. Their scientific achievements, simply put, are extraordinary. Their work has profoundly advanced our understanding of Earth and space processes. They have made pioneering contributions to remote sensing, broadened our knowledge of the outer reaches of our solar system, and opened up new paths of research with revolutionary significance. Tonight, we applaud their commitment, their dedication, their passion for innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our 2012 class of Fellows.
Jonathan Abbott, for his work in aerosol chemistry that has led to more physically accurate models of aerosol impacts on air quality, cloud formation, and climate. Lawrence Army, for his work on stratified flows in oceans and atmosphere. Edward T. Baker, for his innovative and sustained work on the relationship between submarine hydrothermalism and magnetism on scales from local to global. Urs Baltensberger, for his leadership of aerosol science in Europe that has made fundamental contributions to resolving aerosol impact on climate and air quality. Jana Bleeker-Toft, for being the world's leading geochemist in the application of hafnium isotopes to the evolution of the Earth and the early solar system. Joel D. Bloom, for innovative and important contributions in trace metal and isotopic geochemistry that have significantly advanced understanding of Earth processes. Tim Burt, for outstanding contributions in hill slope hydrology, nitrate and carbon cycling, and soil erosion. Robert Byrne, for his groundbreaking research and scientific leadership on the marine physical chemistry of seawater and the global carbon cycle. Daniel R. Cahan, for pioneering cross-disciplinary contributions and leadership advancing understanding of hydroclimatic variation and change in Western North America. Ronald Carl Cohen, for fundamental developments in spectroscopy applied to understanding the impact of atmospheric nitrogen oxides. Anthony Del Genio, for fundamental contributions in atmospheric and cloud physics, including data analysis to improve basic understanding of climate physics. Peter B. Domenico, for his seminal work linking Plio-Pleistocene and Holocene African climate variability to human evolution and culture. Neil McPherson Donahue, for pioneering contributions to our understanding of atmospheric organic chemistry with emphasis on the formation of organic particulate matter. James Frederick Drake, for pioneering theoretical investigations of space plasmas leading to discovery of fundamental properties, causes, and effects of magnetic reconnection. Xingyun Duan, for fundamental contributions to hydrometeorological modeling, including physical process representation and efficient, effective model parameterization. William J. Emery, for advances in the remote sensing of ocean surface phenomena, including sea surface temperature variations and ocean surface currents. James S. Famiglietti, for research on continental-scale remote sensing of hydrologic properties and for integration of remotely sensed data with hydrologic models. John M. Ferry, for his contributions to metamorphic geology and fluid-mediated processes in the Earth's crust. F. Michael Flaser, for outstanding contributions to the understanding of outer planet atmospheres and their dynamics. Andrew J. W. Gledo, for pioneering contributions to fission track analysis as a tool for geological dating and thermotectonic investigations. Nikolaus Gruber, for his extraordinary scientific accomplishments and visionary leadership in ocean bioecochemistry, research, and education. W. Stephen Holbrook, for advancing understanding of Earth's lithosphere and hydrosphere through creative use of seismic imaging techniques. Richard A. Houghton, for his pioneering research on the role of the terrestrial biota in the global carbon cycle and its modification by human activity. Robert A. Howes, for outstanding contributions to the understanding of cloud dynamics. Peter R. Jaffe, for fundamental quantitative work on bioecochemical reaction and transport phenomena in soils and sediments. Bruce Jakosky, for his illuminating studies of the climate of Mars and of life in the solar system. Hitoshi Kawakatsu, for his outstanding contributions to the study of mantle discontinuity structure, earthquake sources, and volcano seismology. Kor Longrise, for outstanding work in developing and using paleomagnetism as a tool for stratigraphy, tectonics, and geomagnetism. George W. Luther III, for his pioneering research in redox reactions, trace element speciation, and development of novel in situ electrochemical methods. David Main Price, for groundbreaking laboratory work, observations, and computations relating fundamental mineral physics to problems in seismology and geodynamics. Michael E. Mann, for exceptional scientific contributions to illuminate the causes of climate change and for major breakthrough and paradigm shift. James N. Mohm, for outstanding contributions to our understanding of ocean mixing in coastal, abyssal, and equatorial regimes using innovative measurement techniques. Daniel Murphy, for revelations about the composition of particles in the atmosphere and important insights into the impact of aerosols on climate. Ken Nielsen, for his pioneering work and leadership in the fields of geomicrobiology and geobiology, and as an inspirational mentor and creative scientist. J. David Nealon, for seminal contributions to our understanding of tropical climate variability, including El Niño. Patrick T. Newell, for his groundbreaking work in the use of ionospheric observations to understand magnetospheric dynamics and for fundamental discoveries in geospace. Tom Parsons, for fundamental insights into earthquake triggering, earthquake interaction, and fault mechanics. David Pollard, for fundamental contributions to understanding of past, present, and future climates through modeling and model data comparisons. Amilcare Porparato, for developing new theories of water biota interaction resulting in the emergence of the field of ecohydrology. Vladimir Rakov, for his fundamental work on lightning modeling and for identification of the mechanics of a number of basic lightning processes. Cora E. Randall, for contributions to our understanding of the impact of energetic particles on the atmosphere. Anna Cristina Revelle, for changing our image of the tropical Pacific Ocean during the period when continental ice sheets became recurring features. Yuji Sano, for his study on volatile isotopes of volcanic and environmental systems and the invention and application of ion microprobe UPB dating of apatite. Raymond W. Schmidt, for his fundamental contributions to the understanding of double diffusive convection, oceanic turbulence, and the global water cycle. Roger Clive Searle, for permanently altering our understanding of the morphology of the ocean floor. Stephen Self, for his fundamental work in understanding the mechanisms and consequences of explosive and effusive eruptions. Jane Silverstone, for elucidating the relationships among metamorphism, fluid composition and flow, and the mechanisms of deformation in the crust. Yuri Simonek, for the development and application of multidimensional numerical Vados zone models of variably saturated water flow, colloid, and solute transport. James Arthur Slavin, for outstanding research on magnetic field and plasma phenomena throughout the solar system and for exemplary leadership in space flight programs. John Southon, for innovations in understanding the carbon cycle during the last glacial-deglacial period and transformative development of accelerator mass spectrometry. Tilman Spahn, for his exemplary contributions to our understanding of the constitution and evolution of terrestrial planets and outer solar system satellites. Tim Stern, for placing diverse, tight constraints on the structure and geodynamics of regions with a variety of active tectonics. Thomas Stocker, for his contributions to understanding the Earth's climate system in the past, present, and future. Ronald J. Stouffer, for his path-breaking development of coupled atmosphere-ocean climate models and their use in research on the ocean's role in climate change. Toshiro Tanimoto, for fundamental contributions to seismology and beyond that had deepened our understanding of mantle dynamics and the solid-fluid Earth interactions. Jean Viraud, for his pioneering work and breakthrough approaches in seismic imaging and wave modeling methods, as well as in the physics of the earthquake rupture. Paul Wessel, for his monumental and pioneering work in lithosphere dynamics, hotspots and plate tectonics, and geophysical data analysis. Thomas T. Wilhite, for his pioneering contribution to the remote sensing of precipitation, humidity, sea ice, and soil moisture for airborne and space-based platforms. Mark W. Williams, for outstanding research that has made fundamental advances in mountain hydrology and bioecochemistry. Renyi Zhang, for outstanding contributions to understanding fundamental mechanisms of atmospheric, chemical, and physical processes.
We honor one more AGU Fellow this evening, our colleague and friend, Davis D. Sentman, Professor Emeritus of Physics at the University of Alaska Fairbanks, who passed away in December of last year. Over the course of his career, Dave Sentman served as principal investigator on more than 30 research projects with NASA, the Department of Defense, and the Department of Energy, and the National Science Foundation. He published 89 papers, including articles in Scientific American and Science, collaborated with 128 co-authors from around the world, and currently has nearly 1,700 citations of his work. He was a specialist in plasma physics, solar terrestrial relationships, and upper atmospheric electrical phenomena, and served as a special editor to the Journal of Atmospheric and Solar Terrestrial Physics. Accepting this designation posthumously on his behalf is his brother, Harold Thompson Sentman, nephew, Mark Sentman, and nominator and AGU Fellow, Earl Williams. Thank you, and my warmest congratulations to you all. You have forged paths that others follow in our never-ending quest for knowledge. Now please watch the screens as we introduce our Climate Communication Prize. Thank you.
AGU established its Climate Communication Prize to raise the visibility of climate change as an urgent problem facing society. the prize honors a member scientist for their outstanding contributions to scientific literacy and public awareness about climate change and its impacts on our world. Tonight we recognize Jeffrey Kiehl with the 2012 Climate Communication Prize for his pioneering studies on how psychological processes affect the way in which we view and interpret information about climate change. His extraordinary research on the interconnection between climate change and psychology is unique and inspiring.
I would like to call Mike McFadden back to the stage to join me in presenting the Climate Communication Prize.
Thank you, Carol. Each year, the American Geophysical Union, supported by a generous grant from Nature's Own, presents the AGU Climate Communications Prize. This prize recognizes those who promote scientific literacy and who foster a respect for and understanding of science-based values as they relate to climate change. Today, there are many threads of evidence that tell us human activities are contributing to Earth's changing climate. These changes can be felt even now, and they are an omen for future impacts on nations, industries, and people all over the world. As the science evolves, it is critical that we convey with reason and clarity our understanding of the mechanisms driving this change, the risks involved, and how they might be managed. Jeffrey T. Kiehl, licensed psychologist, AGU fellow, and a senior scientist at the National Center for Atmospheric Research, is the 2012 recipient of this prestigious award. Recognizing that the public needs and wants more information about climate change, and that scientists themselves are the most credible sources of that information, Jeffrey has spent much of the past decade exploring new ways of communicating climate science through narratives that are specific to different sectors of society. His devotion to climate science, for his devotion to climate science, and for his exploration of both science and the psychological dimensions of anthropogenic climate change, and for his dedication to helping other scientists improve their communication skills, AGU presents its 2012 Climate Communication Prize to Jeffrey T. Kiehl.
It's not a prize you are going to drop on your foot. Dear colleagues, first of all, I would like to thank Dr. James Hurrell for nominating me for this AGU Climate Communication Prize. I am deeply honored by Jim's citation of my work on climate communication. I thank the members of the AGU Prize Committee for recognizing my work. I also thank Bill Large, Director of the Climate and Global Dynamics Division at NCAR, and Roger Wakamoto, Director of NCAR, for their support of my work in communication. And I want to recognize all of the people in the public who have given me positive feedback on my presentations over the past years. The public's interest to know more about the climate system has kept me passionate about this work. I feel we have a responsibility to convey our science to the public in the best ways possible. Given the seriousness of our changing climate, I am committed to informing the public about the effects of human activity on Earth's climate system. In particular, I'm most interested in understanding how we humans receive information, especially when that information may be disturbing. In this light, I'm interested in the psychological and sociological dimensions that affect a person's receptivity to climate change information. Knowledge of these two dimensions has helped me to connect people to climate science in exciting ways. Finally, I thank my beautiful wife, Nancy, and our two daughters, Kate and Alexis, for their support over the years. The time I have committed to researching, developing, traveling, and communicating science to groups around the country has been time away from them. I thank them for supporting me in my passion to communicate the science of climate change. Thank you.
From all of us at AGU, congratulations, Jeffrey, and thank you. Now, if you will again direct your attention to the screens, we are about to introduce the highest honors conferred by the American Geophysical Union, the AGU medals.
Pioneers, groundbreakers, leaders. AGU medals are the most prestigious honors awarded in geophysics. AGU medalists have distinguished themselves through their pioneering research and fundamental discoveries in geophysics. They have expanded the frontiers of our knowledge and set new standards for excellence in the pursuit of science. They are scientific innovators and leaders whose transformative ideas have changed the way in which we view the world and are role models for future generations of scientists.
Dedication is the passionate devotion to an idea or belief. It starts with a vision of a tomorrow that is better than today. It is fueled by unswerving commitment to guiding principles that light the way forward. Dedication is a defining quality of those who achieve a higher level of success, like our medalists tonight. Commitment inspires you to go the extra mile, not because it's required, but because it makes all the difference. Commitment to scientific excellence, to community, and to a better world is one of the hallmark attributes of our medalists tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, to introduce the 2012 AGU medalist, our AGU president, Dr. Michael J. McFadden.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, and let me add my personal congratulations to the 2012 awardees and fellows. We are both fortunate and proud to count you among our members. Now it is my privilege to present some of the most prestigious scientific awards in all of geophysics, the AGU medals. The playwright, poet, and critic T.S. Eliot once said that only those who will risk going too far can know possibly how far one can go. Well, throughout the ages, scientists have taken that risk. They have followed their hearts and intuitions to turn abstract ideas into new realities, and in doing so, they have enriched the scientific enterprise and transformed our world. The 12 individuals we pay tribute to tonight, through their imagination and initiative, have left their mark on this historic odyssey of human endeavor and scientific achievement. They have pioneered new frontiers in geophysics and shown the way forward for many who follow. Tonight, we salute their dedication, vision, and passion for discovery. Now let me begin our AGU medal presentations. I will highlight the reasons for each selection, but please read the complete citation in your printed program, since my brief comments will not do full justice to the achievements of our honorees. I would like to call once again Tony Louis to the stage to help me with this ceremony. Thank you, Tony. Okay. Thank you. Our first honoree is a leader in satellite geodesy whose groundbreaking contributions have spanned tectonophysics, geodynamics, and planetary science. He was among the first to measure fundamental parameters of the Earth's global gravity field, as well as its polar motion and variations in the length of day. He conceived of and developed NASA's state-of-the-art model for high-accuracy satellite orbit determination. He also led research that produced a global topographic model of Mars, which has aided in the precision landing of Mars instrument sensors and rovers. Ladies and gentlemen, for his pioneering achievements in space geodesy, It is my great pleasure to present the Charles A. Whitten Medal to David E. Smith.
Thank you, colleagues, and the AGU for this honor. Science, by its nature, builds on the work of others, and any accomplishments of mine can be traced to those who impacted my work over many, many years. But first, I must thank Desmond Kiehl in England for guiding me into this area of space science and being a spectacular example of how science is conducted. On arriving in the United States many years ago, I was helped and encouraged by measurement of the plate motions that got underway, including those by Bernard Minster, Tom Jordan, John Waugh, Jim Savage, and many others at NASA and in academia. When I moved to the planetary sciences, I was inspired by many, but particularly by Sean Sullivan, Roger Phillips, Jim Head, to lead an investigation into the topography of Mars, which you heard about a few moments ago. Maria Zuber joined us in the investigation, and Maria and I have been collaborating ever since, initially on Mars and subsequently on Eros, Mercury, Vesta, and now the Moon. Maria has been a great colleague and unceasing energy and enthusiasm that have been a major inspiration. But none of this would have been possible without those at NASA who provided outstanding instrumentation and those who helped analyze the data that made scientific advances possible, particularly colleagues like Charlie Sun, John Kavanagh, Greg Newman, Frank Lemoyne, Mark Torrance, and many, many others over the years, too many, in fact, for me to name. To all of them, I say a big thank you. But without the support of my wife, Veronica, who put up with my many years of strange working habits and days and weeks of being away from home, all this would never have been possible, and I owe her my biggest thanks and gratitude. Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations, David. Our next medalist is being recognized for his fundamental contributions to atmospheric chemistry, biogeochemistry, and the global carbon cycle, as well as for research that provided critical scientific underpinning to the Montreal Protocol. He was ahead of his time in recognizing the role of bromine in destroying stratospheric ozone and the role of the Amazon rainforest as a sink for carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. He is tireless and enthusiastic as a leader and as an inspiring teacher and a mentor. Please join me in welcoming the recipient of this year's Roger Revelle Medal for Outstanding Contributions in Earth System Science to Stephen C. Wofsy.
It's an amazing honor to receive the Revelle Medal. And I'm very grateful to Jennifer Logan and other colleagues who put forward the nomination and to the American Geophysical Union. Modern ideas about the Earth's environment and the atmospheric and ocean environment in particular really began to emerge in the 1950s. And many of the previous recipients of this award were pioneers from that time. I really am very grateful to have benefited from the collaborations with my senior colleagues and with my many junior colleagues who've shared with me their enthusiasm and their knowledge in helping to overturn some of the accepted wisdom that prevented us from really understanding the threats to the Earth's environment. Our field is beset with a lot of distractions that arise from a noisy public debate that fails to grasp the complexity and nonlinearity of the Earth's environment. And it also fails to appreciate the challenges that we face in the magnitude of human perturbations to the Earth's environment. Going forward, I hope to be able to help to continue to mentor younger scientists in challenging accepted wisdom and in helping society to make responsible choices. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Stephen. For 2 decades, our next medalist has been a pioneering leader in the exploration of the Moon, Mars, Mercury, asteroids, and the solar system through multiple satellite missions. Her work, using novel observational techniques and rigorous analyses, has revolutionized our understanding of lunar and planetary topography, gravity fields, magnetism, tectonics, and impact cratering. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome this year's recipient of the Harry J. Hess Medal for outstanding achievements in research on the constitution and evolution of the Earth, Maria T. Zuber.
Thank you, Sean Solomon and the others who nominated me for this honor. Viewing the list of distinguished past Hess recipients, it's impossible to overstate how humbled I am. I was lucky to have been born at the dawn of space exploration. When I was starting out my career, data from robotic spacecraft revealed planetary surfaces that displayed tectonic patterns beyond imagination. While at Brown University, Mark Parmentier provided me with the guidance I needed to understand what such features could tell us about the internal structures and stress histories of these bodies. Subsequently, an NRC postdoc at NASA Goddard set me in an exciting new direction. At the time, I was impatient because I didn't have the data I needed to test my models. And while there, I realized that I could be part of the solution to that problem. We designed an altimeter with the requisite lifetime and performance to map the planets, and in parallel, we extended Goddard's orbit determination capability to allow the first high-resolution planetary gravity fields. Our goal was not just to make great maps, but also to interpret them. Along with Dave Smith, Sean Solomon, Roger Phillips, Greg Newman, and others, we applied this philosophy to Mars, Mercury, the Moon, several asteroids, and learned about how solid planetary bodies evolved. I've been fortunate to have collaborators, postdocs, and students who challenge me, engineers who design, build, and operate spacecraft that allow scientific dreams to be realized, and family, particularly my husband Jack and my boys, who have always been there to support me. I cherish this medal because it is a celebration of the remarkable teams whom I've been fortunate to work with. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Maria, and thank you. Modern global earthquake monitoring supports fundamental research and provides essential information to prepare for and respond to earthquake disasters. The consortium known as IRIS, the Incorporated Research Institutions for Seismology, has been the backbone supporting the acquisition and management of data that underpins seismological research, education, and applications. Comprised of U.S. academic institutions, government agencies, and international partners, it is the archetype for scientific community building and engagement. Our next recipient, the president of IRIS since 1991, is widely recognized as the individual most responsible for the consortium's record of success. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the recipient of the Waldo E. Smith Medal for extraordinary service in geophysics, David Simpson.
It is indeed an honor to accept the Waldo E. Smith Award. As I am sure Waldo himself would have done, I accept this in the name of many and in the spirit of collaboration and cooperation that lie at the core of AGU and the IRIS Consortium. It has been a true joy to watch IRIS grow over the past 25 years. This community venture has been built on deep commitments to free and open data exchange, shared and multi-use resources, the highest quality standards, all within a framework of community, governance, international, and interagency collaboration. In accepting this medal, I express my thanks to my many colleagues at Dalhousie, ANU, Lamont, IRIS, and especially to Art Lerner Lamb and the others that nominated me. For it is they who have instilled in me a sense of the mystery and the excitement and the discovery of science. To current and past members of the IRIS Board of Directors, and to the more than 250 dedicated members of the scientific community who have freely served on IRIS governance since 1984, for it is their vision, leadership, and energy that have kept the consortium stimulated, engaged, and productive. To the talented and supportive staff of IRIS and our facility partners, for it is their hard work and dedication that have transformed NSF's financial support into the first-class global resources for research that we have today. To Patty, my wife and friend of 45 years, for she is the one who has kept me founded solidly in family values. To our 4 children and their spouses, and our soon-to-be 9 grandchildren, for it is they, along with the next generation of early career seismologists, who give me faith for the future and some reassurance that this has all been worthwhile. To all of them and all of you, my sincere thanks.
Congratulations, David. Our next honoree, arguably the world's most cited hydrologist, has made fundamental contributions to the understanding and modeling of hydrological processes. Concepts that he has introduced have helped define the current practice, and in particular have shown that estimation of uncertainty is an integral part of environmental modeling. In addition, he has honored the legacy of Robert E. Horton, for whom this next medal is named, by unearthing and reintroducing Horton's previously unpublished contributions to current generations of hydrologists. Let's give a warm welcome to the 2012 recipient of the Robert E. Horton Medal for outstanding contributions to hydrology, Keith Bevan.
Wow, was that me? I'm really extremely grateful to Jeff McDonald, who led the nomination for this Horton Medal, to all the friends and colleagues who contributed to it, and for his extremely generous citation. I'm also deeply honoured, of course, by this award, particularly because I have the deepest respect for Robert Horton's work. That respect only became greater when a few years ago, as was mentioned, I had the opportunity to go through some of his 94 boxes of papers that are in the National Archives. He was clearly a remarkable scientist, albeit, I think, a somewhat difficult person to work with. Nobody receives an award like this without being deeply indebted to teachers, colleagues, and students. And in maintaining a student-like approach to my research, I've had some really good mentors, and I would like to mention in particular Mike Kirkby, George Hornberger, and Peter Young, who are still all remarkably active in their own research. I've also worked with so many other friends who have contributed hugely to my own continuing development as a student of hydrology and hydrological modelling. This is an important area because we live in a time when uncertainty about future flooding, water scarcity and water quality are a serious concern. And I expand on that in my published response to this nomination. But there are clearly some real issues in the treatment of knowledge uncertainties in trying to deal with some of these issues. I'm absolutely sure that if Robert Horton was alive today, he would be really actively involved in this area. And I hope that before I'm done, I'll be able to throw a bit more light on some of these issues. Thank you very much indeed.
Congratulations, Keith. Joining me on stage now to assist with our next presentation, representing the Office of Naval Research, is Dr. Tom Drake. The Maurice Ewing Medal was established by AGU in conjunction with the United States Navy to recognize significant original contributions to the scientific understanding of oceanic processes, to the advancement of ocean engineering technology and instrumentation, or for outstanding service to marine science. This year's recipient is being recognized for her pioneering research on ancient abrupt climate changes and for her illuminating of the evolution of deep ocean environments. She is one of the leading authorities on the Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum, an event in a geological record 56 million years ago that is possibly our best roadmap for understanding future climate change. Her uncanny ability to interpret highly complex data with a big picture perspective has led to major advances in paleoceanography, micropaleontology, and ocean history. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the recipient of this year's Maurice Ewing Medal, Ellen Thomas.
Thank you all. I feel deeply honored to receive the Maurice Ewing Medal, especially because earlier medalists include my heroes in science, who influenced my thinking about the carbon cycle in the world's ocean, but also helped to shape my rather funny-shaped career. I thank the medalist, Karl Turikian at Yale, who unfortunately can't be here today. I thank the late Nick Shackleton, who introduced me into Cambridge Society, as well as Rick Fairbanks at Lamont and Wolf Berger at Scripps. I also give special thanks to Peter Busak, who was my first employer in the United States, who let me look at airborne particulates with his SEM, A Different Life in Science, and also taught me how to write proposals and articles and function in US science society. I thank my PhD advisor, the late Cor Droger at Utrecht University in the Netherlands, who introduced me to microfossils and helped to see them as living and evolving organisms. Then also at Utrecht, I thank Olaf Schouwing, who within one lecture in the first year of studying geology introduced me to carbonate equilibria, which I'm still studying, but also to Joop Verrekamp, with whom I'm still married. In the summer of '69, Joop and I did fieldwork in southern France. We have now been married for almost 4 decades. We collaborated in science as well as in raising our kids, Dylan and Daphne, who say that geology makes for really, really boring dinner table talk. I am not one of those cosmopolitan women who have it all. I never got a tenured position. But thanks to funding by the National Science Foundation and EPA and the USGS, I have been able to reach my highest priorities. And it is a combination of having a great family and engaging in exciting and even accelerating science. Much of the latter made possible by scientific ocean drilling. Last, I want to thank my favorite organisms, the benthic foraminifera. Trace elements and isotopes are measured on their small shells, but I'm happy that they are getting the respect that they deserve. Now, I have reserved a medal from a Geophysical Society, and only just for counting microscopic shells. To foraminifera, my citation is Tim Bralower, the US Navy, AGU, and you all. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ellen. I think you saw a demonstration here of how there are no solutions to the four-body problem. Our next medalist has a distinguished and unprecedented record of seminal theoretical contributions to our understanding of fault and earthquake mechanics. His insightful analyses using mathematical, numerical, experimental, and observational techniques have profoundly influenced the entire community working on earthquake science. His record of scientific publication is prodigious, and his work is consistently at the cutting edge in seismology and tectonophysics. For fundamentally advancing our understanding of earthquake science and deformation of the Earth's crust, and for teaching and inspiring generations of young scientists, the recipient of the 2012 Walter H. Buescher Award is to James R. Rice.
Well, thank you, AGU. I've had incredibly distinguished predecessors with this award, so I'm going to take this as an encouragement to sort of step up the pace before aging takes its toll, and maybe it'll be deserved. So also thanks to Terry Tullis, the citationist, for really generous remarks, and thanks also for easing my way into this field of geophysics long ago at Brown University, where we both were, and for all of the friendship and stimulating exchanges on friction and lab things and faulting and earthquakes over the years since. I was at Brown as a young professor of engineering with a focus on mechanics, and gradually that interest shifted to the Earth. Now, one of my personal heroes as a scientist is Charles Frank of Bristol, the late Charles Frank. He contributed greatly to geophysics. He also pioneered the understanding of line defects in atomic arrangements in crystals. Those are called dislocations. And those defects enable plastic flow, reproduce, facilitate crystal growth, etc. And Frank had a famous quip about crystals, people, and defects, which some of you will know. And perhaps if I rephrase it in the context of the Bucher medal, that will represent my maybe too myopic view, but I will rephrase it as the crust and lithosphere are, like people, mainly interesting because of their faults. Well, a great pleasure in transitioning, at least in part and gradually over some decades, into earth science has been how welcoming and encouraging this geophysics community is. My toolkit in theoretical mechanics was surely as relevant there as in engineering science, but I was without credentials and had gigantic gaps in knowledge, and some occasionally are being exposed as unfilled still. That welcoming group beyond Terry and his colleagues at Brown includes marvelous people at USGS, starting with Bill Stewart, and then a host of others that I better not try to name. Also Paul Siegel and his colleagues in geophysics at Stanford, and many others. I've been blessed too by wonderful colleagues at Harvard, as I was previously at Brown, and with fantastic students and postdoctoral co-workers at both places. Most of all, I have a soulmate in life with equal passion for all things relating to earthquakes and the like, and for many other more placid things too, music not the least, that being my wife, Renata Domowska. Thank you all.
Congratulations, James. Our next medalist has pioneered the field of Earth and planetary geomagnetism. In a career spanning more than half a century, he has published on the origins of crustal magnetism for the Earth, Moon, Mars, and meteorites, and on the role of biomagnetism in whales, birds, and the human brain. He has also helped to design, fabricate, and bring online a new generation of highly sensitive magnetometers that are now standard and irreplaceable equipment on drilling vessels and in shore-based laboratories all over the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the recipient of the John Adam Fleming Medal for original research and technical leadership in geomagnetism, atmospheric electricity, aeronomy, space physics, and related sciences, Mike Fuller.
Thank you, Chris Harrison, and Shubir Banerjee for placing my name in nomination for this medal, and for those who supported it. In looking back over the winners, one realizes how lucky one is to be in such distinguished company, and also to have one's name associated with such a wonderful scientist as John Adam Fleming, whose one of his great claims, I think, was his ability to encourage younger workers. Of course, not only have I been lucky in standing here, but I've been lucky in my family that ensured that I had the opportunity for a good education. And for my Aunt Marjorie, who had good sense to marry a very good physicist who taught me most of the physics that I ever understood properly. That's Johnny Clegg. I've also been lucky in having a wonderful group of graduate students from the first times a while ago, as we mentioned, to quite recently. And I've also had in my research group Bob Dunn, with whom I've worked now for nearly 50 years, who has been at the center of almost all of our work in instrument design, in tectonics, in paleomagnetism, the Earth's field, and in the lunar work. I thank those who have made this wonderful life possible by supporting our efforts, which have been a joy for life my whole life. In private life, I've been blessed with my daughter Karen and grandson, and my dear Patricia. One could not have a more loving and loyal partner. Among all these joys, I perhaps shouldn't mention this, I do have a slight sadness in the changes that seem to have taken place in universities in the 50 years or so I've been around them. It seems that administrations grow larger and larger and seem less and less connected with really the job of the academy. And meanwhile, and I suspect not unrelated, it seems that tuition fees are going up rather unacceptably. This all makes me wonder if my generation has done a good job protecting the academy, as we should, and may the next generation do a better job. But finally, thank you very much for this great honor. It is indeed an incredible reward. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Mike. As all of us are aware, the future of geophysics rests in the hands of those exceptionally talented young scientists who will make fundamental discoveries, surprise us with breakthroughs, and establish new frontiers of knowledge. This year, the James B. McElwain Medal for contributions to the geophysical sciences by outstanding young scientists is awarded to 3 individuals. The first is recognized for his revolutionary advances in understanding of the nature of tectonic tremor and its role in setting the stage for earthquakes. His innovations in the study of this subtle noise from the deep within the Earth has opened a new window into the processes governing the earthquake cycle on major plate boundary faults and the magmatic systems beneath active volcanoes. Please welcome David Richard Shelley.
Thank you very much for this tremendous honor. I consider myself extremely fortunate to have had such positive influences from family, friends, and mentors over the years. On the personal side, I especially thank my parents and my wife Liz for their patience and constant encouragement. I've been equally fortunate with the support of many generous mentors and colleagues. My PhD advisor, Greg Baroza, provided, among other things, a potent combination of enthusiasm and insight. I learned a lot from him, as well as from mentors since then, such as Satoshi Ide, Roland Bergman, Dave Hill, Gene Hardebeck, Bill Ellsworth, and many others. As a seismologist, I still feel like a bit of a kid in a candy shop at the USGS with so many brilliant, accomplished earthquake scientists to pester with questions. Of course, the work that's being honored here is the result of a collaboration with people that I've mentioned and others, including those who work to collect and archive the data that we use. We are very fortunate to have open access to terabytes upon terabytes of high-quality seismic data, and I think it has enabled scientific progress that wouldn't have been possible otherwise. I want to acknowledge the people who made this work possible. I think this openness and investment in shared resources is a major strength of the seismological community, and it has been essential for my work. So, I consider myself extremely fortunate to be in a profession where I'm working with brilliant people, studying amazing data, and attempting to answer fascinating questions related to the inner workings of the Earth. Thank you.
Congratulations, David. Our second young scientist is being recognized for outstanding research contributions that illuminate the complexity and the dynamics of magmatic systems, and for transformative work at the interface of observational Earth and planetary sciences and continuum physics. His intellectual generosity fuels an intense collaborative research style that spans the field of magma physics, petrology, and physical volcanology. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Joseph Dufek.
Thank you very much. I want to particularly thank Mark Yorso, my citationist, for his always kind words. And also thanks to AGU and the McElwain Committee for this unexpected honor, and of course to my nominators for their support. I feel very honored, touched, and extremely lucky to receive the McElwain Medal. My own work would not have been possible without the immense support of mentors and friends who have influenced and taught me a great deal, and I really think this is an award for them. My introduction to earth sciences came from classes I took as an undergraduate at the University of Chicago. Ray Pierrembert and Fred Anderson, who I still stay in touch with a little bit, provided me research opportunities with topics ranging from the Martian climate to volcanic volatiles. During graduate school at the University of Washington, George Bergantz taught me a great deal about geology as we examined problems in the lower crust and eruption dynamics. While in Seattle, Mark Yorso, Stu McCallum, Olivier Bachman, Ron Merrill, and so many others were all very influential to me, as were my excellent graduate cohort. I had the great luck to join the Miller postdoctoral program at Berkeley following graduate school, and my continuing collaboration with Michael Manga is very fulfilling. Over the last years, I've had the great opportunity to collaborate with many people who have taught me much, including Mark Yorso, Dennis Geist, Karen Harp, Brittany Brand, Ben Andrews, and so many others. My colleagues at Georgia Tech have been absolutely supportive, including our chair, Judy Curry, and my geophysics colleagues, Andy Newman, Jiang Peng, Chris Huber, Carol Patty, and James Ray. And I especially want to thank my students who work very, very hard and have great potential. Mostly, I want to thank my parents and my brother for their support, and my wife, Carol, for insight, caring, and extreme patience. Thank you.
Congratulations, Joseph. We honor our third distinguished young scientist for his creative applications of stable isotope tracers and numerical models for solving problems in hydrology, ecology, biogeochemistry, forensic anthropology, and paleoclimatology. In this area of specialization, he is among a select group of talented young scientists who possess the creativity, breadth, and skills to tackle a wide range of interdisciplinary problems. He serves as a reminder of how a broad foundation in earth sciences can facilitate solutions to some of the most challenging problems of our time. Please welcome Gabriel J. Bowen.
Incredible. Thank you, AGU, and thank you, colleagues and friends. Thank you in particular to Jim Zakos and those others who supported my nomination. Although I have the privilege of standing here in front of you all tonight, this award recognizes many who share their knowledge, guidance, and example, and enthusiasm with me throughout the years. Thanks first to my parents, Stephen and Nancy Bowen, who inspired me to explore nature from a very young age. Thank you to my mentors, my many mentors at the University of Michigan. Bruce Wilkinson taught me to ask the interesting and right questions. Casey Lohman introduced me to stable isotopes, which I still love today. Greg Gunnell, Bill Bartels, John Block, and Phil Gingrich took me to the field for magnificent experiences and to start thinking about the relationships between environment and evolution that I find so fascinating. Lynn Walter put me to work in her lab where I saw collaborative research in action. When I walked into my interview for a graduate program at UC Santa Cruz with Paul Koch, I was already intrigued by the place. Maybe it was the intense beauty all around on the campus. More likely it was the topless undergraduate protesters tied to a ill-fated redwood by the bus stop. Either way, Paul had no trouble convincing me to sign on. Things only got more interesting during the subsequent 5 years. Thank you, Paul, for being a role model, an amazing scientist and person. Working on the PETM with Paul, Jim Zakos, Jerry Dickens, Lee Kump, and Richard Zeeby, and many others has helped me to scale my thinking about biogeochemistry to a global scale. At UCSC, I also met my wife, Brenda, perhaps my most important experience there, and she provides constant inspiration, and along with our boys, Isaac and Benjamin, makes every day a great day. Thank you to my postdoctoral mentors at the University of Utah, Jim Elringer and Turi Serling, who inspired me to creatively explore the broad relevance of the work that we do. And finally, thank you to the many other outstanding colleagues and students at Purdue, Utah, and around the world who have shared and collaborated with me. I look forward to many exciting years of science to come with all of you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Gabriel. AGU's highest award, the William Bowie Medal, was established in 1939 to honor one of the founders of the American Geophysical Union, a man who was an architect of international cooperation and geophysical research and who served as AGU's first president. This year's recipient is a French scientist who has been deeply involved in the work of AGU and supportive of its mission for her entire career. She has made and continues to make fundamental contributions to the geosciences. Her work has remained at the forefront of space geodesy, transforming our understanding of the solid Earth. She has also been a leading scientist in highly successful satellite altimetry and gravity missions that have revolutionized our understanding of sea level rise associated with greenhouse gas warming. We honor her tonight for these groundbreaking scientific advances. Please join me in welcoming the 2012 recipient of AGU's William Bowie Award, Annie Kazanov.
Okay. First of all, let me thank my nominator, Dick Pelletier, and the colleagues who have supported my nomination. So it is really a great pleasure and an immense honor to receive the AGU Bowie Medal. When I look at the list of previous recipients with so many well-known names, I can hardly realize that I have been awarded this prestigious medal. I feel very humble following on from this highly distinguished scientist. Receiving this medal has a special echo for me. As a European scientist, I consider that AGU is the most prestigious scientific society in Earth and space science. A few years ago, I had the opportunity to closely work with AGU as International Secretary, and this was really an extraordinary experience. I really appreciated the many facets that characterize the AGU, striving for excellence in science, interdisciplinarity, and cultural diversity. So, as it was said, my research field is geodesy. Thus, I am very proud to share this with William Bowie, who made so many important contributions to geodesy in the early decades of the past century. Initially, I wanted to be an astronomer, and I became space geodesist just by chance, but I never regretted, because space geodesy is really an exciting research field, truly interdisciplinary, with application in many areas of earth science. And my own scientific career somewhat illustrates this. After a PhD on the rotation of the Earth, I had the opportunity to work on the gravity field and its link to mantle convection and lithospheric structure. Then I worked on large-scale deformation of the solid Earth, and more recently on sea level, land hydrology, and climate. Moving to such different fields is a great challenge that makes us rather humble when we consider the huge amount of new things we have to learn each time. But on the other hand, this is clearly a very rich experience. So I would like to share this Bowie medal with the many students and colleagues I work with all along my career in France and in other parts of the world. Owing to their scientific leadership, several of them have had a profound influence on my research. Moreover, as human relationships are a fundamental component of scientific research, I would like to add that I've been very lucky on that matter. So to finish, let me thank my students, my colleagues, my friends, and of course my family, who have played a so important role all along these years. And again, let me share with them this wonderful recognition. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Annie. Let's give another round of applause to all of our 2012 AGU medalists. They're anxious to get over to the champagne. It's coming soon, not to worry. I would like to thank everyone for being on hand to honor these 82 extraordinary and accomplished individuals. Please join us for a champagne reception, which begins immediately outside the ballroom. Tomorrow, we look forward to seeing you at the honors banquet in the Yerba Buena Ballroom of the Marriott Marquis. For now, enjoy the evening.